Hi and welcome back to Cheeky Crypto. My name is Nick and today guys we're jumping down into the world of Bitcoin, taking a look at what's been going on most recently and what I would expect to happen next. As I get into this video, if you find it useful and informative, hit the like button. I really do appreciate that. If you happen to be new to the channel, then why not go ahead and subscribe, tap the bell, select all notifications, and in doing so you will be kept up to date with absolutely everything that we do here at Cheeky Crypto. Now if you have not yet joined us in Discord, the link is in the description down below. It's a fantastic community talking crypto 24/7. It's completely free and I don't think you'll be disappointed by what you find down there. We have additional resources to help you understand what it is that I'm doing in these videos with Elliott Wave Theory, so you can follow along in a little bit more detail. And of course in the description down below you'll find two additional links. You'll find our Patreon services where we offer a lot more for our Patreon members down in Discord, everything from our movements, what we're buying, what we're selling, everything from project reviews as well, proper write-up reviews on those projects, trading, and of course 2MAs weekly. So if that's your bag, why not check that out down in the description down below. And the second link is to the new Cheeky podcast, keeping you up to date with everything crypto on a day-by-day basis. This is also free. It's fantastic. It's on Spotify, Apple, YouTube here as well, and it's just a fantastic way on your commute to the office to stay up to date with everything crypto. So why not check those out if that is your bag. Okay, let's waste no more time though. Let's jump down into this, right? Bitcoin paired up with USDT on the hourly chart, and Binance is the data source. And following on from yesterday's video, and we were kind of expecting maybe a surge upwards, just a tiny one, nothing too major here, before we start to pull back down again. And taking a look at this, I think actually there's a couple of things that are going on here that could lead us into two different directions. So I want to kind of show you both scenarios and what would be required to invalidate or validate these. Okay, so first of all, I'm going to just tidy this up a little bit. I'm going to remove some of the speculation off, but I'm going to leave on here kind of what's actually going on. So it's a big wave one that comes down over here. A wave two that may or may not yet be finished. Okay, so there's a couple of scenarios with that. So I've marked it up as potentially finished with a 5-wave drop here, and we might actually start to see maybe another move up, a little bit higher with a kind of 335. We'll go through that, and then another drop. So this could be the start of our third wave down. Alternatively, this could also just be a correction coming down here as well. But I think for the most part, we should be confident in thinking that actually this might just be the start of our third wave, with this being a very simple wave two. Okay, so if wave two is done, which is one possible scenario, then obviously it came up to this high point, which was, if I find it on here, $20,918. So I'm going to mark that up, because again, if we do go higher than this, it does mean that we haven't finished wave two. Okay, and of course we go up higher than 21,888, it means that there is no move down, or we haven't finished wave four, which is also another possible scenario here, that the zigzag pattern taking us up into this 21,888 hasn't actually, it's maybe just an A wave, and then we pull back down here into the B wave, and then we come up higher before we actually start the next descent down, which would actually mean that we have lower lows on our fifth wave than maybe we were expecting. Okay, so although we have a 5-wave drop here, we could potentially see a 3-wave move upwards, and then another 5-wave move drop down, not cross down lower than 17,622, and then rally up again in more corrective patterns. But it really depends on how long this thing's going to get drawn out for, and all of that. So there's a lot of things to kind of think about, but really all we really need to do right now is focus in on this little movements that are going on right here, and because they'll give us an indication as to what is most probable when it comes to what happens next. So here you can see we've been trading sideways. Now this 5-wave drop to the downside here is an interesting one, because this little wick that we just had a couple hours ago does actually go down lower than this. Okay, so this would indicate that we have either completed the upward directional move here, just this ABC or this 3-wave move. I'd use WXY for this, so W, X, and Y, like so, right? We have that double top, and then we came on down, right? Again, another 3-wave move where we go up, or go down into a W, up in an X, and then down into a Y. This is basically now telling us that the next move is likely to be up. Now we've got a 3-3 move. We could potentially be looking at something like a 5-wave move upwards, and this whole entire thing might become an expanding flat correction. And if it is, then I would expect a 5-wave count to the upside next. Okay, so basically we would have A, B coming down over here, okay, and then C coming on up. And all of this would then be a wave 2 of wave 3. Okay, so if that is the case, then that's kind of what we would expect to see. And if I take the measurement from our A wave to our B wave, I would expect this to kind of come up here to about $19,906 approximately in a 5-wave move. So it would look something like a 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, like so. And essentially all that would be is a 335 expanding flat correction that would basically make up our wave 2 within our wave 3. So again, join us in Discord if this isn't making too much sense. We have a lot of documentation we can kind of go through with you to understand what these actually mean. But essentially we've got waves, wave structures inside wave structures. So basically we'd have wave 1 come down here, wave 2 would come up to approximately that 19,906, wave 3 would then drop down quite significantly, wave 4 would then bounce up, and then wave 5 would come down, of which this is actually a third wave on a macro scale, and again that's targeting down here about 16,114, right? So it can kind of get messy, but when we start tracking these movements and you understand the different kind of patterns that appear, what would create validation and what would create invalidation, you can kind of plot out what to expect. Okay, so when you start to see this, our trend is down, right, and anything going upwards is counter to the trend that is going down. Okay, so we have to understand these things. We have to understand that there are several different kind of wave counts that can occur, and if certain things happen, then the next action is limited to the patterns that would precede it. So join us in Discord if this doesn't make sense, but essentially what we have here is a potential move upwards next, and taking, in my opinion, approximately to $19,906. Okay, so I'm going to tidy this up just a fraction, just so we can kind of see here this move, and then what I will do also is remove this one because we want to tidy this up a bit. This yellow box area here, I want to leave this in here just a fraction longer, just because we haven't confirmed that wave 2 is completely finished. Confirmation of that basically occurs when we drop down lower than $18,626. Okay, so we can kind of put that one to bed once we actually drop down lower than that, which would happen after this move here, as we then continue to drop to the downside. Now, when we take a look at the stochastic RSI, we can see that we are heading into the oversold area, so there's a little bit more room of kind of volatility right in this section here, and then we should then start to think about upward directional moves. Now, however, this weekend we've seen a very boring kind of sideways trade. There's a lot going on in the world. It's the 4th of July weekend, etc. So I'm not expecting too much in the world of people being online or in crypto space. It's kind of pretty obvious when you take a look at crypto Twitter. It's pretty dead. You also take a look at the Discord server. There's not many people around over the weekend, but again, this is just the fact that people do actually have lives outside of crypto, right? So we're seeing a bit of a boring kind of sideways trade, not too much kind of going on. Obviously, I was not really expecting this kind of flash crash wick a couple hours ago, but it is what it is, and we are looking at just a little bit more volatility. We'll probably not actually see any of these kind of real moves continue until next week, where we actually start to see probably this move upwards and then the crash downwards. But there are a couple of caveats to all of this, right? And it's really obvious when we start jumping up into these higher time frames, where we can see here that the 4-hour stochastic RSI is coming down a bit. We have the 8-hour moving up a bit. And we have the daily heading down towards our oversold area, right? So the daily is actually indicating that we are likely to see some kind of big move to the upside. And if that is the case, then we could argue that maybe our big macro 4th wave hasn't actually finished yet. And if that is the case, then we've actually got a bigger surge to the upside coming, okay? So we haven't invalidated this low down here, right? So what we'd want to do is we want to drop that price down lower to make sure that all of this stuff at $15,000 lows are valid, right? And for those to be valid, we would have to see, basically $17,622 or lower in terms of price, right? We have to invalidate that. Failing to do so means that this macro 4th wave, okay, which is all of this here, might not actually be finished. And if we actually take a look and review this movement, so if I grab hold of my fib tool, we take it from that high to this low, and we think about all of that just as an A wave and this being our B wave, for example, and we pull this over to here, then we could be looking at moving on up, right, and taking our daily stochastic RSI from where it is oversold up to overbought by maybe moving the price up to $23,000. And essentially what that would be a giant ABC structure, right? Just coming in here, A, B, and C like that. And then that actually becomes our fourth wave. If our fourth wave goes all the way up there, then our lows become vastly different. Let me remove that stochastic for a sec. Okay, so at the moment we have our lows plotted out at 15,137 to 15,728. However, if our fourth wave is not yet complete, we have to take this low and we have to take that high just up here. Okay, and then all of a sudden our targets then become 14,800 to 16,500, which would then need refining later. Okay, so we should be very cautious over those kind of things. There's no guarantee that that will play out, but there is a pattern that is there, and I'm cautious about it. I'm thinking about all the different kind of options that are here and what is currently happening. So right now it does look like we should have this kind of 5-wave move upwards to complete maybe an expanding flat correction, based on the fact that we have a 5-wave move here, and a 5-wave move usually is not in isolation. Okay, we do have a 5-wave drop here and a move up. So again, everything is indicating that we should potentially move back down. So we might actually find ourselves completing wave 3 before taking that daily stochastic RSI back up a little bit. And maybe that's where that move really comes in. No one really knows for certain what's going to happen here, but the momentum indicators are getting into interesting positions. And that specifically that daily is indicating that is likely to see a surge upwards really soon. So whether that's wave 2, whether that's continuation of a macro wave 4, whether that is a micro wave 4 at a later date, we don't know. But what we are doing is tracking these small movements right now to help us understand what is likely to happen next. We are looking at staying below 20,918. And ideally, one would kind of get confirmation that wave 2 here is done by dropping down lower than 18,626. But I think that will come once we actually push the price up a little bit further, of which I'm not expecting anything over the weekend. It should be next week, in my opinion, that we actually start to see some of these major moves occur. So guys, I'm going to leave the video there. If you have found this useful and informative, hit the like button. I really do appreciate that. If you happen to be new to the channel, then why not go ahead and subscribe, tap the bell, select all notifications, and in doing so, you will be kept up to date with absolutely everything that we do here at Cheeky Crypto. With all that said, done, and out of the way, I hope everyone has a fantastic day, and I'll catch you all in the next one.